I had a really interesting vantage point for actually Black Monday, as I had made plans to travel to Texas to do marketing for my hedge fund. And I was in Dallas the day of the crash. And what was so fascinating was the hotel that I checked into had Alan Greenspan and Margaret Thatcher in attendance for some sort of awards thing, or I don't really remember what it was. And the vivid memory I have was trying to call New York from my hotel room that evening to sort of find out, more what was going on, and not being able to call out because they had monopolized the switchboard. The Federal Reserve and the British government had monopolized the switchboard. And so it was this odd, bizarre vantage point to be where they were physically the day of the crash. So it was a frightening week, more frightening than any week in '08. First of all, the fact that the systems hadn't been tested in a global way. This was our first sort of global crisis of the modern financial world. And so would the Federal Reserve step in? Would central banks step in? We didn't know. And there was no playbook. Everybody was going sort of by the seat of their pants. And the system was, in many ways, I think, more fragile. It was less interconnected than '08, but I don't think the systems themselves had been tested. And there was a lot of views that brokerage firms might not survive Wednesday, Thursday, Friday of that week. One of the real lessons of 1987 as a hedge fund manager, and specifically a short seller, was I suddenly realized that I was a lender to my prime brokers. That in effect, I was an unsecured creditor to the people I did business with. And so it gave me a really good appreciation and a really good and luckily cost-free lesson on making sure that I was doing business with firms that could suffer a storm and that I wasn't indebted. And if I was, to keep my assets in treasury securities, my cash, as opposed to IOUs from an investment bank. And that put me in good stead during the Drexel collapse, and then in 1998 during LTCM, and then again in '08.